Hey, you YouTube and Snapchat and fuckers. Welcome back to another installment of the Friday Wrap-Up. Well, another week down, another week closer to 2021. So, opening song was The Unchained by Van Halen. I'm sorry, YouTubers, you don't get to hear it. But I put that up there really as a tribute to Eddie Van Halen, who unfortunately we lost this week due to cancer. He was an excellent guitarist, and the music world will dearly miss him. So, Eddie, salud. So, before we get started, I took a hell of a sip there. Before we get started, I'd like to tip my hat to my friends in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Tonight's cocktail is Jack Daniels. Yep, I went classic tonight. You know, every so often, you got to go back to your roots, and God knows I'm a big Jack Daniels fan. So, like I said, every so often, you got to go classic. I'm more of a whiskey on the rocks kind of guy anyway. Big fan of Jack Daniels, always have been. Listen, if it was good enough for Sinatra, it's good enough for me. And we drink it the same way. No more than 3 ice cubes. We're not ice skaters. So, it's 3 cubes, 2 fingers of Jack, and you're good to go. So, here you go. Drink up and be somebody. Salud, huh? That's good shit. Okay, well, big week. Got a big week. I had to actually scale down some of the fucking wrap-up this week because this week was like Christmas, okay, when it comes to stupidity and fuckery. So I had to scale it down just to keep this thing, at 30 minutes. Hopefully we don't go over, but, a lot of shit happening this week. So, first off, right out of the gate, your Corona update. Like I said remember last week, President Trump came down with the coronavirus and everybody fucking panicked and went berserk. And what did I say? Don't worry, he's going to be fine. 2-3 days and he's in the clear. It's like they watched this show. That's what I think. I think somehow I'm controlling the world through YouTube. So he went to Walter Reed Hospital as a precaution, like I said, because his comb over was bothering Melania. They gave him some fucking, some miracle drugs. He's back in 3 days. He seems fine, right? So, whatever this remdesivir is, which is probably a steroid, seems to be working. It cleared up his symptoms right away. He thinks he's not contagious, but science is still science. I get that. I think he just does that really just so he doesn't appear to be sickly or weak. And as a guy, I could kind of understand that, especially when you're the leader of the free world. You don't want to seem like you got something wrong with you or that you're vulnerable. So, long story short, he's out of the woods. Now, here's where the world goes crazy. Now, here's what I think happened. Okay, I think the Democrats and. Follow me on this before everybody goes, oh my God, here he goes. Relax, okay? So, I think the Democrats actually purposely planted somebody in his camp that had the coronavirus to infect the entire Trump fucking cabinet, okay? It seems to me that only the Republicans in the White House got the coronavirus, okay? Or any Republican that was close to Donald Trump got the coronavirus. Now, I'm not one for conspiracy theories. We all know this, but this makes some sense because these are the same fucking people, okay, that have been trying to get him out of the fucking office since day one. They're still bitching about the election results, okay? Still, they can't fucking believe it that he won. Still, with 4 years later, they still can't. These are the same people that came up with the whole fucking Russia hoax bullshit, which turned out to be absolute bullshit. First of all, there was no conspiracy, okay? That was proven. It came out a couple weeks ago that this was cooked up as a distraction to take away from the fact that Hillary Clinton was sending fucking top secret emails over a private fucking server, okay? And Biden and Obama were both briefed on this. These are the same people that spied on the Trump camp during his campaign. Okay, these are the same people that cooked up some kind of bullshit impeachment because he asked a fucking question. Okay, so I wouldn't put this past them. They probably figured it's the only fucking way to get him out of office, get him the corona and kill him. And that didn't fucking work. Okay, because This resilient bastard came right out and he's fine. Okay, now the latest fucking bullshit is Nancy Pelosi, drunky pants, this alcoholic bitch. She's now planning a coup. Okay, today she is trying to pass or add legislation to the 25th Amendment, which for those of you people that don't know what the 25th Amendment is, it has to do with when it came up during the Kennedy administration. When a president is shot or incapacitated, they install the vice president as acting president. So she wants to add additional legislation to say that if the president is deemed mentally unfit for service, that they can immediately install the vice president as acting president. And she's questioning Trump's mental stability because of the medication that they gave him. She's saying that he's not mentally fit for office. Listen, Trump is as nuts as he was from day one. So nothing has changed. Now, the reason for this is pretty simple. If you could get him knocked out of office, okay, and installed before an election, it completely discredits the president, and he loses all of his fucking supporters and voters. What are they going to do? Vote the fucking VP in? Okay, so that'll crush the election. Now, that's one scenario. Second scenario is she gets Trump out of office, installs Pence, and then claims Pence is mentally unfit for fucking service, has him removed, and guess who assumes the mantle of presidency? That's right, the fucking Speaker of the House, Nancy fucking drunken Pelosi herself. Yeah, slurring all over. Today she was wearing a fucking mask with oranges on it, and she's calling other people mentally unstable. She's gonna have fruit on her face and calling people crazy. Hello? Okay, so I'm completely okay with the idea that the Democrats tried to kill this man. Okay, I mean that's basically from all of this is fucking treason. I don't understand why I'm the only fucking person in the world that realizes this. I don't get it. I really just don't get it. But that's your Corona update for the president. He's fine. This is probably a blessing in disguise for his campaign because you know what? This remdesivir works, it seems to. And he's going to probably greenlight it. He said he was going to greenlight it and make it available for anybody who's of advanced age who gets the coronavirus. And what this basically does is it just kind of it shortens the length of time that the virus attacks the body, which will probably prevent a lot of after effects as well, because I was watching the news today and I was hearing about some of the side effects of having corona. I mean, just because the virus goes away, there's a lot of fucking problems that you have after: itchy skin, glaucoma, all kinds of fucking problems. So I think by having this knocked out of your system quicker, it'll alleviate some of those side effects. I'm not a scientist like that. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, but I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and just using simple fucking logic, which the world seems to have forgotten how to use, it makes sense. So, President Trump, glad you're doing well. If you're watching, we're pulling for you, pal. All right, so next up, Governor Nostrils closed down parts of New York City and New York State today. I told you this was going to fucking happen. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so apparently, to get this, I gotta back this up a little bit. So, I mentioned a few weeks ago, actually last week, that there were hot spots popping up all over, various parts of New York. The boroughs, some parts of upstate. And it just so happens to be that these are heavily populated with Orthodox Jews, Hasidics. And Cuomo wasted no time in blaming the Hasidic Jews for the fucking spike in the coronavirus. Now, I always say, what else could happen? And then I get the answer, and here's another one. This is probably one of the few times you'll hear me say this. I mean, from time to time, I give Cuomo his props when he's doing. They're very few and far between. But this time I'm in complete fucking agreement with the governor. I know. Move to the left, the fucking sky's gonna fall. Okay? So I'm actually agreeing with Nostrils on this one. So he's showing pictures of all these large congregations of Orthodox Jews. No mask. They're crammed into a fucking synagogue. They're right on top of each other. They're breathing and sneezing on each other. I mean, it's disgusting. And since the beginning of all of this, they've refused to adhere to the social distancing rules. They've refused to wear masks in their neighborhood. Matter of fact, they had this big fucking funeral parade through Park Slope a few months back. Some high rabbi died, and nobody's wearing a fuck. These large gatherings are basically fucking super spreaders, and the spikes have been pinpointed to these fucking neighborhoods. So it makes sense to shut them down. So Cuomo put in place some restrictions. He said, no large religious gatherings, no more than 25. That was a fucking hardship. These people went fucking berserk. He shut down non-essential businesses, restaurants, and all that other shit. So you got 3 different zones. You got red zones, orange zones, and yellow zones. The red zones are the fucking hotspots. That's where the highest restrictions are. No non-essential businesses are allowed to open. Restaurants are takeout only. Religious gatherings, no more than 25 people, and the schools are fucking closed. The orange areas, a little bit lighter. Again, same restrictions on religious gatherings. Schools are still remote. Restaurants are allowed to open. Non-essential businesses can open, but with capacity restrictions. So indoor dining, no more than 4 people to a table. Okay, that's in the yellow zone. So orange zone, they can open, but it's outdoor dining only. Again, no more than 4 people to a table. Yellow zones, schools can open. They got to do weekly testing. Religious organizations, same thing. No more than 25 people. Restaurants can do indoor dining. Again, no more than 4 people per table. So by not adhering to the social distancing regulations, it's hurting other people, businesses, schools, and all that other shit. Okay, that's one. So, I get it. Shut down the hot spots before they become a bigger issue. But here's the problem with that. Okay, if I'm in a red zone and I can't, go to whatever, I can still go to the orange zone. I can still go to the yellow zone. So the red zone is going to trickle over to the orange zone. That's going to end up being red. And then the orange zone is going to trickle over to the yellow zone, and so on and so forth. Until before you know it, we got another full-blown fucking shutdown. And this time, according to the governor, it's the Jews' fault. You can't make this shit up. You really can't. Now, and here's like I said, I don't disagree with the guy on this. This is the one time you're going to hear me say this. I'm in complete agreement with them. What they should have, hopefully, I don't want to say it out loud because it might happen. Hopefully, this little fucking plan works. I don't think it will, but hopefully it does. Now, the Jews went insane. Now, not all the Jews. Now, let me preface this. There's different levels of Judaism. Okay, you got your regular Jews, which, they're fine. They're not wearing yarmulkes. They don't have the curls, the payas, or anything. And then you got the Orthodox Jews, or the Hasidim. And that's the ones that I'm saying are the problem here. So they went fucking bananas. So now, of course, because we live in a world where if you don't get your way, you can protest. Okay, and you throw a little fucking temper tantrum. So what happened? The Jewish community went fucking bananas, and they decided to protest. They're burning masks in the street in Crown Heights. Okay, you imagine a Jew, and they're running through the streets screaming, "Jewish lives matter! Jewish lives matter!" What are they doing here? They're infringing on our First Amendment. Come on. Okay, so now they went fucking crazy. I mean, now granted, they're not going to have very violent protests. They scream and yell, they burn things, they kick things, and then the cops show up and they run for their lives. They're not very robust people, so don't expect any rioting and looting, but the Jews are revolting. Okay, so there's that. And get this shit. Here, Mayor Muppet Hands is pissed that Cuomo wasn't harder on these areas. First of all, the reason that the governor had to fucking intercede in the first place is because the fucking mayor didn't do his job. First of all, he neutered the police and told them not to interfere with anything. That's one. So the cops aren't enforcing the fucking rules. Without enforcement, rules are just guidelines, and people will just step over them like anything else. It's like having a kid, and you go, "Hey, don't do that," and the kid going to test you. They're going to go, and if you don't come up behind them and smack the kid in the fucking head, they're going to keep doing whatever it is you told them to stop doing. Without enforcement of these rules, without consequences, they mean nothing. They're just fucking empty words. So the mayor, refused to do his job. The governor even gave him a shit. So listen, you better come up with a fucking plan before the end of the week. Otherwise, I'm going to do it. The mayor's office did nothing. So the governor stepped in and did what he had to do. I mean, unfortunately, you can't impose martial law on these areas and corral these people into their... If you can restrict people in red zones to their own neighborhoods and orange zones, then this plan would work. That's why I say I don't think it's going to fucking work. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Okay? I mean, before you know it, I give it 2 weeks and we were on a fucking full-blown shutdown. And just by shutting down these areas, it's going to create problems for the state. Again, these businesses are suffering. If you're in a restaurant business in this area, 1 minute you're open, now you're closed. They don't even know what the fuck is going on, because an orange zone could be right across the street from you. So you're in a red zone and you have to shut down, but across the street you're fine. So it's going to fuck with all the businesses again. It's going to blow up the unemployment rates again. It's just, it's something that could have been fucking avoided had people just got a brain in their head and just done what they were supposed to do. Okay? So, that's that. So Muppet Hands is annoyed. On another COVID update, Regal Movie Cinemas, which is a big franchise movie theater outfit, they announced this week that they're shutting down all of their movie theaters across the country, including the 44 of them that they got in New York, indefinitely. Which means they don't really have any plans on reopening. I mean, they might reopen in certain areas that don't have as tough of a restriction, but most likely in New York, these places are going to remain closed. Here's why. Okay, here's why. It's a shame. It really is. Well, first of all, you can't go to a fucking movie theater in New York. That's that. And secondly, Hollywood is even, experiencing COVID problems. They refuse to release new movies, new blockbusters, because why would you release it if nobody can go to the fucking movie theater? That makes sense. They've ceased production on a lot of big blockbuster movies because of Corona. Why risk this, the crew and the cast getting sick? And by keeping the production open longer than it needs to be, every day it costs money. So by ceasing production, they save some money. So that means these movies will be put out later than projected. So if you're a movie theater, even if you're allowed to open, and you got no fucking movies to show, but the shit you can see on Netflix, how are you doing business? Are you going to show Star Wars 92 fucking more times? Come on. All right? So, unfortunately, I think the movie theater industry is going to be a casualty of Corona. Maybe it brings back drive-ins, which I'm okay with. I miss drive-ins from when I was a kid, but I think with all the streaming services, now you can fucking get a movie on your TV set at home for $24.95. The whole fucking family can watch it. You can watch it 1, 2, 3 times. You can sit there, drink a beer, scratch your balls, do whatever the fuck you want in the comfort of your own home. You don't have other people breathing on you in your way, obnoxious or that bullshit. So I think unfortunately the movie industry as we know it is going to change. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. Who the fuck knows? So there's that. That's your Corona. So that's your movie updates for this. Your Corona updates for this week. Okay. So get your tickets out. Get ready. Okay, because you're about to board the train to Crazy Town, baby. The Crazy Train's leaving the station. Woo woo. Okay, here we go. Get ready, because this Crazy Train's making a lot of stops this week. So first stop. The vice presidential debate happened this week. Hopefully you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen memes and heard things on the news and what have you. So here's my take on it. Okay. Vice President Mike Pence, vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris. Listen, I'm not a big fan of Mike Pence. I'm going to say that right out of the gate. He's a Bible beater and they make me nervous. Okay. And I don't know. It's just something about him. I don't love the guy, but I get his purpose. He's the insurance policy. He's the voice of reason. Now, Mike Pence is a classic politician, but I don't mean that in a bad way. Okay. One, he was never a senator. He was former governor of Indiana. Okay. So in my opinion, he's got managerial experience. Senator Harris is a junior senator for California. Prior to that, she was the attorney general for California. And prior to that, she was the DA of San Francisco, where she met the mayor of San Francisco and polished his knob so nicely that, he left his wife for her. These are facts. So Pence, in my opinion, in the opinion of anybody with a half a brain in their fucking head, completely and totally kicked Kamala's ass. Okay, and here's why. All right. First of all, I thought Pence was very cool. He did it not in an abrupt manner or not in an abrasive manner. He did it, calmly. Might I add, rather confidently. I thought he was doing fantastic, and then the fucking fly happened. If you were watching it, a fucking fly landed on Mike Pence's head and sat there for about 2 fucking minutes. I couldn't stop fucking laughing my ass off. Apparently, maybe Kamala Harris was sitting there with her legs spread a little too far apart, and the fly landed on his fucking head. I don't know where the fly came from. Someone left the window, but it sat there for 2 minutes, and of course, that's what everybody focused on. Granted, I was laughing my balls off when it happened. At that point, once the fly landed on his head, I didn't hear anything else that he said because I was laughing too hard. When the fly flew away, then I listened again. So, when a question was posed to them, Kamala, of course, did what Joe Biden did. First of all, she was overly dramatic about nothing. And then she would refuse to answer the question. She would sidestep it, walk around it. She'd look at the camera and go for the fucking dramatic soundbite. Okay? Listen, first of all, she's very condescending and full of herself. Debates are debates. I mean, they're never going to work according to the rules. And I have to say, the moderator, I forgot her name, it just flew out of my head. She's the head editor for USA Today. I don't know what her political affiliation is because she keeps it kind of to herself, which is smart. But I think she did a good job moderating. So I don't know if she's left-leaning or right-leaning, but I think she did a fair job moderating that debate. She gave everybody equal ground. It didn't seem like she was playing favorites there. She'd pose a question, and Kamala Harris would start talking, and Pence would defend himself, would defend his administration, and, she'd turn, I'm speaking. You know what? I want to fucking throw something at people when they do that shit. Shut the fuck up. You ain't that special. She was not, she's had a very lackluster career. I mean, prior to being a junior senator, she was a fucking DA and an AG. She was a top attorney. That's all she was. Okay? And she wasn't that great at it. First of all, here's what I find to be funny. When she was the DA of San Francisco, the conviction rate went from 51% to 76%. And she prosecuted people of color with a fucking vengeance. And now here's the same person years later saying that there's systemic racism in the criminal justice system. But you were part of that criminal justice system, which I told you I don't fucking buy into. That's propaganda. But 1 minute she's prosecuting her own people, so to speak, with a vengeance, and now she's saying, well, the criminal justice system is biased and racist. But you're fucking part of that. So what? It makes no sense. And thankfully, Pence wasted no time pointing that fact out, which shut her ass up fast. Okay? That's what I'm telling you, he won. When when a question was posed to him, he answered it no problem. When he would cross-examine her, she would, I don't want to be lectured by the vice president. Well, he's the second in command of the fucking country. You're a junior senator. Get the fuck off your high horse, princess. Okay? She tends to get her facts from CNN headlines. So, just like Biden, they're clueless as to what the fuck's going on. They keep harping on the president's response to the COVID virus, which I covered last week. Okay? And, truthfully, what else can you fucking do? He did everything he could do. Okay? There's nothing else that he can do. She keeps saying, oh, well, Joe Biden has a plan. He's going to do free testing, and he's going to come up with a vaccine. It's not a fucking plan. That's empty promises. Even Pence said it. That sounds like you're plagiarizing the cover page of our plan. So, like I said, without a doubt, hands down, fucking Pence just mopped the floor with her. And he did it very, very diplomatically. That's the word I'm looking for. He was very calm, very cool. He owned that room, except for the point when the fly landed on his head. And also, I don't know if you realized it, but there was somebody in the fucking audience with Tourette's. Every time Kamala Harris started talking, it would trigger this person's Tourette's, and they'll go, what? I couldn't fucking stop laughing. I was on the goddamn floor. So between the fly on the vice president's head and some Democratic triggered Tourette's, I was done. Good thing I wasn't drinking. So that was your vice presidential debate. Like I said, hopefully you got to see it. And now the crazy train is going to make a stop in good old New York City, where Mayor Muppet Hands wants to rezone Soho and NoHo, which are two prime real estate sections in downtown New York City. Very trendy, very, very yuppie-ish. You got south of Houston, north of Houston. He wants to rezone them for affordable housing, which is now... which would basically put the final fucking nail in the coffin in the death of New York City. All the residents in these areas, this is prime real estate. You get a loft for like fucking $4 million, and now by having affordable housing in the same building as you or one block over, which is going to fucking tear the goddamn neighborhood apart, it's going to crush your real estate value. So what's going to happen? Another mass exodus. New York City is going to be nothing but a fucking, just a militarized zone. I mean, look. Fine. You want to put affordable housing someplace? Okay. Don't put it in a high-end neighborhood. Go to Washington Heights. Or some other fucking crime-ridden area where you could go in, clean up some of the crime, you take some of these burnt-out buildings, you fucking refurbish them, you make them a little bit nicer, you give that to affordable housing, and nobody in the area has to suffer. Okay? That's a fucking plan. But this fucking mutt of a mayor who has no idea what he's doing is just slowly dissecting New York City and turning it into a fucking zombie. All right, that's what this ass face is doing. So there's that. On to Michigan. The governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. There was a plot this week to get this shit. This is just nuts. Some white supremacist group was plotting to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, who's a Democrat, and I guess kill her. That was their plan. They're going to kidnap her because she's running her state like a fucking scared liberal, and, crime rates up, protests, all kinds of bullshit. So this white supremacist group, which I'm not backing, by the way, decided to kidnap her. Well, obviously it was a stupid fucking plan. It failed. The feds interceded, locked them up. She never got kidnapped. She was never harmed. But she's now blaming Trump that people wanted to kidnap her. You imagine this fucking shit? First of all, she's a sharp critic of the president. So she's constantly tweeting fucking negative shit. So he answers back. He's a counterpuncher. You leave him alone, he won't bother you. So she said because of his rhetoric, the way he answers her, that it triggered this white supremacist group to fucking kidnap her. I mean, it seems like the fucking MO of the Democratic Party is to blame Trump for everything. If it fucking rains, it's Trump's fault. If you fucking stub your toe, it can't be because maybe she's not doing a good job as a governor, or it can't possibly be that maybe she's a little incompetent, or maybe it can't be that she's just not assertive enough to stand up to people and go, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to impose a little fucking law and order because that's what the job of a fucking leader or an official in some kind of leading body is supposed to do. No, it's the president's fault because he sent the fucking tweet. Come on. There's a new trend in New York City. Next time we're going to circle back around on the crazy trains. There's a new trend in New York City. Get this shit. And again, not being racist. You know me, not racist. I hate everyone equally. I just report things as I hear them. So there's this trend where in New York City where black men have been assaulting elderly white people. And it's all over the boroughs. It's Manhattan, the 5 boroughs. They just, when somebody's walking or standing on a subway platform, they come up behind them and hit him. The latest victim was Rick Moranis, the actor, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Ghostbusters, Rick Moranis. So he was leaving his Central Park West apartment, and some guy came up on, black guy, it was on camera, fucking nailed him, knocked him out, and and took off. Now this has been happening all over the city since June. Okay, it's random, but it's been happening since June. One guy assaulted a 92-year-old woman in Gramercy Park. Okay, his name was Rashid Brimage. He's 31 years old from the Bronx. He's a 31-year-old guy who who fucking cold cocks a 92-year-old woman. Okay? All right? You get that? 31, he clocks a 92-year-old woman. They caught him. The cops caught him, locked him up, and then let him go. This is the 103rd time he's been arrested this year. You got me. 103rd time. He's been arrested 103 fucking times. You want to tell me that there's fucking systemic racism in the criminal justice system? Where's the racism? And it has nothing to do with what color the guy is. Really. If you're a criminal, you're a criminal. Doesn't matter what color you are. There's black criminals, there's white criminals, there's Hispanic criminals, there's Indian criminals, all kinds of fucking criminals. Okay? You arrest somebody for a violent act against a 92-year-old woman. I mean, one punch to a 92-year-old could fucking kill him. You arrest him and then you let him go. 103 fucking times they arrested this son of a bitch. And again, this is a mayoral and a gubernatorial edict where, you know, you can let them go, no bail type of shit. 103 fucking times this guy's out on the street again, assaulting people and doing all kinds of shit. Okay. Now, if the guy resisted arrest and the cop put him in a fucking chokehold and injured him or killed him, that's a problem. That would be considered. Oh my God, police brutality. This poor fucking guy who assaults old people. Yeah. Okay. He'd be. So I mean, it's what I always say. If you're a criminal, no matter what fucking color you are, you get arrested, shut the fuck up, and go to jail quietly. Okay. But this is just beyond stupid. If you're gonna commit a crime, at least commit one with purpose. Hijack a truck, you know, steal something you could sell and do some good with. I mean, assaulting elderly people? Come on. This is cowardice, and it's a scumbag. That son of a bitch should be beaten to death on the street, okay? I hope 9 cops take a fucking nightstick to his head, okay? That's what I hope. So, next stop on the crazy train. We're going international now. Woo-woo! Okay, so here we go. Domino's. Get this shit. Now, I'm Italian. I've never eaten Domino's, thankfully. I can't imagine why you would want to. But this little nugget takes place in the UK. Okay, over across the pond in London. So, some guy orders Domino's. So he makes a Domino's order. Pizza, you know, cheesy steaks, and a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So the delivery guy comes to the door. And before he rings the doorbell, he takes the ice cream and starts rubbing it all over his fucking nuts. And then he didn't realize that they have one of those, like, doorbells with the fucking camera in it. So there he is. Oh, I'm gonna rub this ice cream on me nuts. And then I'm gonna give it to the poor bloke that opens the door. So he rubs his fucking balls with, and you see him, he's like this. He's like, you know, he's just going to town on his fucking ice cream. And then hands it to the guy. So this stupid bastard takes his pizza and his ice cream and goes inside, puts the pizza in the ice cream in the fridge or whatever, eats his pizza, and then he goes, I think I'm gonna have me a bit of that ice cream. And he goes to the freezer, gets out his, you know, chunky monkey ice cream, whatever the fuck it was, and he's sitting there going to town on it. And his girlfriend calls him, and she's like, did you by any chance eat that ice cream? I'm eating it right now. And she goes, well, stop eating it. The delivery man rubbed his twigs and berries all over your ice cream. Blimey! What kind of shit is this? He rubbed his bits and pieces on my ice cream. So the fucking guy goes insane. He calls Domino's, complains, and Domino's is like, "Oh, we're very sorry. You know, we'll give you a complimentary pizza." And he's like, "I'll never order from you blokes again. This is unheard of. This is terrible. Imagine this shit." You can't even fucking order ice cream and pizza in England anymore without somebody assaulting your food. it's just what... Don't order Domino's. Go to a real fucking pizzeria. Now, maybe they don't have any Italians in England. I would imagine they probably don't. The pizza can't be any good. But, they're fish and chips. Next up, and I love... So get this shit. In Chicago... My second city. It's a place that's very near and dear to me. I go to Chicago a lot. I haven't been in a while. Some woman is getting on a plane, Southwest Airlines plane. She's wearing a halter top. Okay? Young, black girl, pretty. So, because she's wearing a halter top and her tits are hanging out, they wouldn't let her on the plane. They actually told her that because her tits were hanging out, it might offend someone. What the fuck? Who gets offended by tits? Every time I'm on a plane, I get stuck next to a fucking mutant. Okay, I walk on the plane. There's 900 pounders crammed into fucking seats like this. I get stuck next to some Oriental person who smells like rice, or somebody who can't stop fucking praying. Just once, I would like to be offended by somebody's breasts. I wish this would have happened on a plane that I was on. I would have said, you just sit right next to me. I won't be offended. They were nice. There was nothing wrong with them. So they wouldn't let her on a fucking plane. Now, all right, common sense. Maybe you don't dress like you go into a fucking strip club when you're getting on an airplane. But at the same time, to be fair, there is no dress code on the fucking ticket. There's nothing anywhere that says inappropriate, what's considered to be appropriate clothing versus inappropriate clothing. Free country. Fucking dress. Listen, if a woman wants to sit there topless, far be it from me to stop her. It's free country. Take your top off. But, so, I mean, the woman was right in getting irate and getting annoyed. And even the captain of the plane, he realized this is fucking stupid because this is holding up the whole flight. He came out and he says, listen, here's he lent her a t-shirt that he had. He says, put this on, go sit down. The captain was a stand-up guy, and hopefully she thanked him properly whenever they landed, wherever the fuck they landed. So maybe maybe that made a little love connection there. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, could you imagine this shit? I mean, the whole world has just fucking completely lost its entire mind. I don't even know what the fuck is wrong with people anymore, okay? So, next up is our sports update. So the Yankees, New York Yankees, are in the playoffs. They're in the ALDS. It's the divisional playoffs. Now, I said a couple weeks ago, and I'm a Yankee fan, and I said it, the fucking Yankees are going to probably get knocked out in the second leg of the playoffs. And they almost did. Okay, and I might still be right because tonight's the rubber game. It's anybody's ball game tonight. So, just as a recap, Yankees crushed the fucking Devil Rays first. Well, they don't like to be called the Devil Rays anymore. First game, stomped them. Garrett Cole, their fucking $400 million pitcher, just fucking clobbered them. Now, they should have kept that momentum up. And they should have put another ace up on the mound, maybe Happ, maybe Tanaka, for the second game. Instead, Cashman decides, the general manager decides, to go with some fucking gimmick and bring some 21-year-old rookie up from the farm leagues to pitch in a fucking ADLS game because it happened to be like the fucking 60th anniversary or whatever the fuck, 100 years ago when Whitey Ford got called up from the farm league to pitch in a fucking divisional game as a rookie. And of course, Whitey Ford, being Whitey Ford, was lights out. So he picked some kid thinking the same thing was going to happen. And this fucking kid was a disaster right out of the gate. He gave up a couple of fucking runs first inning. So Boone panicked and pulled Happ up to the mound, who was not warmed up, was fucking cold. He was a disaster. Then he pulls fucking Tanaka up on the mound, and he was fucking cold, and he was a disaster. So they got stomped in the second game. And I blame Aaron Boone for this, and I'll tell you why. So you got the fucking general manager, who's not a baseball guy. He's an Ivy Leaguer. He's a fucking paper pusher. He comes up with a suggestion. Final rotation improvements fall on the actual fucking team's manager. Okay, you could suggest anything you want. As the manager, you make that final call, that final decision. You could say, no, we're not doing that. I'm going to put, this fucking guy up on the mound tonight. I'm going to warm up Happ. I'm going to do this. You have a rotation already lined up. Now, had Girardi been the manager and Cashman suggested this stupid-ass fucking thing, he would have said, no, not happening. Conversation over. That's the manager's job. This fucking Mama Luke, this fucking yes man, goes, okay, yeah, and goes along with it, and he cost the fucking Yankees the second game of the division. Now, here's why this is important. The Rays have historically been a fucking hard team for the Yankees to beat. For some reason, they got the Yankees number. Okay, so you win one game against them, you want to keep that momentum up. You don't want to do anything to impede that. So they lost the second game. Subsequently, they lost the third game. So it's a best out of three series, right? So now they had to win last night, otherwise they would have gotten eliminated. Thankfully, they won. So now it's tied. Tonight's the rubber game. They lose tonight, they're out of the fucking playoffs. I'm right. Second leg, they get knocked out. Okay? If they, by some chance, win tonight, which they have an excellent chance of winning tonight because Cole is pitching again. So hopefully he's not still banged up from Monday. Okay? Because they ran through their fucking rotation already. So if he's clicking on all 8 cylinders, then they got a good shot at winning. Do I think they're going to get past the pennant? Well, if they win the divisionals, they got a better shot at winning the pennant. I don't know that they're going to be successful in winning the World Series. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and see what happens. Now, if they fucking lose tonight, this is on Boone. And they should promptly fucking fire him, which I think they will. So I'm kind of torn here. I hate this fucking guy. Hate him. So I almost want the team to lose so that they fucking fire him. But at the same time, I'm a lifelong Yankee fan. They haven't been in a fucking World Series. They haven't played in the World Series since 2009. And I kind of want to watch a little bit more baseball because football fucking sucks right now. So I'm sort of on the fence. I'm hoping that I'm not right in my prediction where they get knocked out of the divisionals. But my gut's telling me I might be. So we'll see. And now on to football. So I'm looking over the fucking Giants stats, and I came to this fucking disturbing conclusion. Even though the Giants suck right now, they're 0 for 4. You get that? 0 for 4. They scored 47 points in the last 4 games. 4 games, 47 fucking points. It's a disgrace. They forgot how to play football altogether. But here's the fucked up part of this. They're only like 2 games out of first place in their division. That's how fucked their division is. Okay? The division is the Eagles, the Washington football team, and the Cowboys and the Giants. So up until this weekend, they haven't played a single fucking team in their division, and everybody is like 1-3. Except for the Eagles, they're 1-2. Okay? So, the Giants are playing the Cowboys this Sunday, who only have a slightly better record than the Giants. The Eagles are playing the Steelers. The Steelers are a much better team. Washington is playing the Rams. The Rams are a better team. So, I'll lay this out for you. If the Giants beat the Cowboys this weekend, and the Eagles and Washington lose, that shifts the fucking Giants up to 1 game out of first place. They can still make the fucking playoffs. Okay? Did you get that? That's how fucking disgraceful this goddamn division is. So, all the Giants have to do is win 1 fucking game, and we might still have a season. Okay? Do I think they will? Well, no. But one could hope, right? So, I got my fingers crossed. I might watch this fucking game. I hate the goddamn Cowboys. I'd like to see the fucking Giants win this game. At least shifts them into second place. We have a fucking... So, there's your sports update. Moving on. Monday is Columbus Day. Well, this was just brought to my attention last weekend. And it just fucking disgusts me. Okay? Columbus Day is no longer going to be called Columbus Day. They changed it to Indigenous Peoples Day. Okay, because apparently we should be ashamed of American colonization. Okay, apparently it's offensive to call it Columbus Day because the poor Native Americans. Fuck the Indians. Fuck them. That's right, you heard me say it. Fuck them. You gave up your land, okay, for a blanket and a cheap bottle of whiskey, and then you got the fucking measles, and then you know what? We weren't there. We don't know exactly what happened. All right, so, Great White Expansion, whatever the fuck, who cares? You wouldn't be sitting here if that didn't happen, okay? And let's face it, they called Indians savages back then for a reason. These fucking tribes would get all whipped up, and they'd ride into a homestead and attack innocent fucking people, scalp them, rape the women, kidnap the children, sell them into fucking slavery. Oh yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, Indians kept white slaves. You want to go protest on a fucking in front of a fucking casino now? Let's go to Foxwoods with signs, you stupid bastards. Okay, they weren't organized. The American colonists were. As an Italian man, I find it offensive that you want to strip the Columbus legacy. Okay, Columbus discovered America. That's it. Yeah, he was banging the Queen of Spain. Good for him. But he's discovered America. We wouldn't fucking be sitting here if that didn't happen. So why are we ashamed of it? Why are we vilifying it? You fucking mongoloids. Okay? That's the world is just fucking disgusting. Okay? I'm ashamed of people as humans. They're fucking retards. So, like, seriously, I hate these little fucking shitbags that are all, oh, it's sensitive. Now we have to be sensitive to the indigenous. Fuck them. Fuck the... You know what? I hope all these... You know, if you're so offended by Columbus Day and American colonization and history in general, here's my suggestion for you. I want you to all hold hands, okay? And kill yourselves. Just jump. Just jump off a fucking bridge into shark-infested waters. Make the sharks happy. Everybody's worried about the sharks' feelings that, you know, people are fucking killing them. Go feed them. Go feed them your ass. God, you stupid fucks. Moving on. Again, here's my weekly observations. And I haven't picked on Dunkin' Donuts in a while. I've been good. And, you know, I realized the other day, you know, it's not Dunkin' Donuts anymore. It's just Dunkin'. Because apparently it's a secret that they're a donut shop. That's what they are. They're a fucking donut shop. Now they want to, well, they're a bakery. You know, in order for you to be a bakery, you actually have to bake things. The donuts aren't made on premises anymore. Not like it used to be. You know, back in the day, oh, time to make the donuts. They don't do that shit no more. They bring them in frozen. They defrost them. Okay? It's a fast food retail shop that sells donuts. But we don't like to say Dunkin' Donuts anymore. It's just Dunkin'. Which I think is confusing people. And here's why. Okay? I can't stand when people get in line at Dunkin' Donuts and don't know what the fuck to order. It's not a complicated menu. There's donuts, there's muffins, there's coffee, and God help me, they have breakfast sandwiches, which I don't understand why people go to Dunkin' Donuts for a fucking bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Go to a deli. Dunkin' Donuts is not a delicatessen. You should keep it simple. Go coffee, donut, get the fuck out. Okay? These people... can I have... it's like they're standing online 5-10 minutes. They can't figure out to the window, and it's like their brain takes a vacation. They turn it to fucking Ralph Cramden all of a sudden. They go, what would you like? Hamna. It's like they don't know what the fuck to order. Like they forget how to read. They don't know how to see things. Okay, who's ordering what? So Tuesday, I mean, just lately, who's ordering warm milk? Some woman walked up. She's, do you have milk? Yeah. It's a coffee shop. They got milk. Can you put it in a cup? Can you warm it up? Because I want to give it to my baby. What is this? Fucking Babies R Us? You can feed your kids and I got to wait in line for the woman to explain to you that they don't do warmed milk? So Tuesday morning, I go to Dunkin' Donuts. And, you know, I'm in a hurry. I don't have time for this shit. And there's a fucking line. And it's because people can't figure out what the fuck they want. Or they get there and they want some kind of special order. Can I get, what kind of cheese do you have? It's fucking cheese. It's not even real cheese. It's like the fucking craft shit. Can I get scrambled eggs instead of, how do you do the eggs? Hey, fuck. Who's ordering bagels? They got custom orders for coffee. They're confused. They don't understand. Do you have this? Do you have that? It's on the fucking menu. If it ain't written, they don't have it. There's no secret menu. Order your shit and move to the side. So, you know, I'm behind a couple of these fucking fucksticks that don't know what to do with themselves. And, you know, there's a line. So a gentleman comes in. Well, he wasn't really a gentleman. And I'm not picking on him because of the color of his skin. He was just an asshole. He was black. And he walks in, and because he had to wait online, he freaked the fuck out. He was screaming that it was racist that he had to wait online. I failed to see how waiting in line like everyone else is racist. But again, that's the fucking culture that we live in, because the news likes to use this word a lot, and people watch the news and they think it's okay to say racist. So he was carrying on. Him and his girlfriend came in, pulled up in a nice bright. He pulled up in a brand new 850i BMW, and right away, before he even opened his mouth, he annoyed me. Not because he was black, but because he's wearing fucking slides with socks. You know, I tell you how I feel about that. I want to step on your slide and punch you in the back of the head. So he starts carrying on that it's racist, that he has to wait in line, and he'll fight all these motherfuckers in here, and he's going on and on and on and on. I wanted to, and of course, everybody's like, oh my God, they're all terrified. Because, you know, this is that intimidation thing. And I don't get intimidated, I get aggravated. So, I wanted to say something, and I'm like, you know what? Shut up. Don't start nothing, okay? Because I had some place to be. You got an appointment. You just get your coffee and get the fuck out. So I was going to leave it alone. I was. And I get up to the counter, and I put my Yeti cup down. And as soon as before I could even open my mouth to order, this son of a bitch goes, "Can you hurry up, my daughter?" Now, by doing that in a very aggressive tone, he now terrified the already confused cashier. So now my coffee's gonna get fucked up because now she went fucking catatonic. She didn't know what to do. So now I'm pissed. I slam my cup down. I turn around, and I have words with this gentleman. Now I'm the only one who said anything. Everybody else was like, "Oh my god!" Like they thought, like you thought, what the fuck I did. And the guy was about to say something, and I says, "Are we gonna have a problem? Because if we are, it ain't gonna go the way you think it's gonna go." And apparently, I must have appealed to this gentleman's logic because he quickly shut the fuck up and left. My point to this is this: with all this fucking nonsense, okay. With all this propaganda that's being portrayed over the news, it's getting into people's heads, and they're starting to think it's okay to misbehave and to act a stupid way and to do stupid. And by behaving that way, they think it's okay to behave that way, and everything is racist. When in fact, it's not. Okay, I mean, if there was racist behavior, I'd be the first one to say it. I'd be the first one to defend it. Honestly. Not the racist behavior, but the person who was being persecuted because of it. I'd be the first one to jump to their defense and do what I got to do. I mean, I am a little borderline psychotic like that. But, to start fucking problems when problems don't need... First of all, by the way, there was no daughter that had to go to school. The car was empty. That was one of the points that I made to him. So, I had, like I said, there was some other words that I used, not harsh ones. I was very calm and collected, but he got the point. So the point is, all of this irresponsible propaganda that's being put out is going to cause people to do stupid things, and it's going to cause problems. It's going to cause people to get hurt. It's going to cause altercations. It's going to cause more situations involving the police, which are going to have a fucking negative outcome. Okay? So, unfortunately, we can't control the fucking idiots in the media, and we can't control the rhetoric, but we can control ourselves, so fucking use your head. Behave yourselves. Okay, stop being fucking retarded, okay? Everything was fine a couple years ago. Now, all of a sudden, we've all lost our fucking minds. Stop being so sensitive, okay? Now, on a new tip, and I never do something like this, but I came across this little story, and I figured I want to help this guy out. A couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, on the 27th, the local area, just right in the neighborhood here, there was a big fire. A bunch of businesses along a strip in Floral Park, all burnt up. We don't know what the cause of the fire was. I'm not even going to speculate. But businesses that got affected was a little local family-owned restaurant, little like Italian restaurant pizzeria called Capoziello. The guy who owns the place is a good guy. He always donates food to the local high schools and the sports programs and the hospitals. He's always helping out in the community and all that other stuff. Good people. Food's good too. And I've been in the restaurant business 30 years. So, in case you couldn't pick up on that, I mean, I'm always, picketing for the restaurants and I'm always looking out for them. So, this guy's a neighborhood guy, lives right in the neighborhood in Franklin Square. Paul Capoziello, nice, like I said, nice guy, always doing stuff for the community. So him and his wife own this pizzeria. They're struggling little business. Then COVID happened. It really kicked him in the pocket. So, he's just starting to, catch up a little bit, and this fucking fire happens. Now, I know what you're thinking, but doesn't he have insurance? Yeah, I'm sure he does. Now, I don't know what kind of insurance policy he has. You know what I mean? Typically, if your policy's written the right way, it would cover, majority of these damages, less whatever your deductible, and it's not really going to hit you in the pocket. My guess is he probably has a stupid insurance broker, probably cheaped out. Most restaurant owners, when it comes to insurance, they look to fucking cut corners, and it's not for a good thing. And usually the brokers, if they're smart, won't let them. And, asshole brokers, which unfortunately there's a lot of them out there, just let them do, just advise him to do whatever, or just to write the policy and get the commission. So my guess is the guy probably didn't have a good insurance policy. That's on him. But nonetheless, now he's got a business that's upside down, and it's not really his fault. So one of his customers, a guy by the name of Michael Ferrone, started a GoFundMe page to help him out. Okay, because this poor guy's besides himself. He doesn't know how he's gonna pick his bit, because he's a blue collar guy. These places don't, they make a living, but they're not loaded or anything like that. So he's hurting. So a customer by the name of Michael Ferrone started a GoFundMe page. And I'm going to put the link in my YouTube video down in the info section. If you want to, help this guy out, donate $1, $3, $4, whatever. Every little bit helps, just to get him back up and running. I'm sure he'd be appreciative. I myself, donated a few bucks. So I'm going to put the link in my YouTube page. If you want to help him out, be my guest. If not, that's okay too. So that's your Friday wrap-up. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy the fall-like weather. And I'll see you when I see you.